Today we'll be reading and learning 4 new words as Ursula tries to spoil the choral festival. Try to find the words in the story, and at the end, we'll review the definitions and maybe you can use these words all throughout the week. Minion, frustration, procession, spectacle. Think you can find all of them? Let's read. Ursula the Sea Witch was always grumpy. But that day she was in an especially foul mood. She was deep in her lair with Flotsam and Jetsam. "What day is it today?" she called to the eels.
It's the beginning of the choral festival,
Flotsam and Jetsam said in unison. It was time for King Triton's annual choral festival, when all the mer people gathered together to celebrate the beauty and splendor of the ocean's coral. The merfolk loved the festival, but Ursula despised the celebration. "Too much joy," complained the villainess. Ursula peered through her crystal ball and scowled as she watched King Triton welcome his guests. "How kind of you all to join us. My daughters and I have a fun-filled festival planned for you." The merfolk cheered and clapped for the exciting day ahead. "I can't wait for the race," exclaimed one mermaid. "My favorite event is the water ballet," another chimed in. "Nothing beats the parade," said a third. "Know what would make me happy?" sneered Ursula. "Making those cheery mer people unhappy." "Flotsam, Jetsam, we've got a choral festival to spoil, starting with that silly sea race," she whispered her plan to her eels, and they swam off toward Atlantica. King Triton and all his merfolk friends gathered outside the castle gates to watch the race. Little did they know, Ursula and her minions were watching too. 1, 2, 3. The mer people swam by at amazing speeds. They swam around rocks and between coral, racing for the finish line. But Ursula was ready for them. She hid behind the biggest rock and waited. As they passed, Ursula stretched out her mighty tentacles and thrashed them, hoping to scare off the merfolk. But the giant wave only helped the racers swim faster. The mer people clapped and cheered for the winners of the race. Ursula watched in frustration as King Triton awarded trophies to them. But she had more tricks up her sleeve. "Not to worry, I have an even better idea," Ursula said with a cackle, noticing the dancers in the distance. "We're going to wreck the water ballet." So Ursula, Flotsam, and Jetsam snuck into the concert hall, where the orchestra played a soft, soothing tune. On stage, the mermaid ballerinas spun, swayed, and sashayed in sync with the music. Ursula snickered. "These poor, unfortunate dancers are about to lose their rhythm." She placed a record on the phonograph. The record's loud rock music drowned out the sound of the symphony. "Now the choral festival will be spoiled for sure," she sneered. As the new beat filled the concert hall, all the dancers looked at each other, confused. Then, one by one, everyone began to catch on. The dancers started rocking out to the brand new song. In her hiding place, Ursula frowned. Once again, Ursula's evil plan had backfired. The audience tapped their fins to the catchy beat and cheered on the dancers. "Those cheery merfolk are enjoying the choral festival more than ever," humphed Ursula as she shattered the phonograph records. That's when Ursula saw King Triton swoosh by. "Of course, it's time for the parade," she cried with an evil twinkle in her eye. "That's how I'll spoil the festival. We'll build our own float and join the procession," she plotted. "The merfolk will be so scared when I appear. Oh my! This is going to be fun!" The parade route wound through a glorious reef covered in coral. All the merfolk gathered around to watch in awe. They applauded as the floats went by, carrying the champions of the race and the dancers, who all waved as they passed. Ursula hurried to join the parade, but the finale began before she could catch up. All the colorful coral opened, creating a brilliant spectacle that blocked the sea witch's way. The merfolk oohed and ahed at the vibrant colors. They all agreed that this had been the best choral festival yet. "No!" Ursula cried. She had failed to spoil any of the fun at the choral festival. The merpeople were happier than ever. In the foulest mood, Ursula rowed away on her float, back to her lair, to form her next evil plan. Minion, a follower or underling of a powerful person, especially an unimportant one, with the willingness to serve or please others. Frustration, the feeling of being upset or annoyed, especially because of the inability to change or achieve something. Procession, a number of people or vehicles moving forward in an orderly fashion, especially as part of a ceremony or festival. Spectacle, a visually striking performance or display. Did you already know any of those words? If you did, then you're already using them. And if not, then you learned something new. Now, enjoy your week, find time for a book, and as always, until next time, happy reading.